Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. The Bachelor Season 29 has been tough for viewers to get behind. And I think it's safe to say at this point that the show's producers made a mistake choosing Grant Ellis as the lead. While many came out of the Bachelorette Season 21 wary of the franchise after the way Jen Tran was treated throughout the season, many felt satisfied with the decision to put Grant in the spotlight. Throughout his time on The Bachelorette, Grant was one of the best men from the season. Known for his emotional maturity, Grant's elimination left him open to take the lead. Moving into his season of the franchise, Grant seemed like he was prepared for The Bachelor Season 29 as the season got closer to airing. While he had some emotional moments during his time on The Bachelorette, there was a lot more to unpack about Grant, which viewers got the chance to see as he moved into the leading role. I was excited for Grant's season initially, but after seeing him in action on The Bachelor, I think the producers of the show made a mistake casting him as the lead. Grant's been boring to watch, despite sharing his emotions. I feel like watching Grant has been toughest in moments where he won't honor his true feelings. Grant's time on The Bachelorette was minimal. Although he made it to the final four, Grant's time on The Bachelorette was fairly minimal. While I enjoyed watching Grant and Jen connect, it was clear from early on that there wasn't a long-term attraction there. Grant did get a great edit on the show, despite not being heavily featured on The Bachelorette throughout the season. Viewers got to know more about Grant, learning the 30-year-old day trader was formerly a professional basketball player in his younger years. While his time on the show didn't end in a relationship with Jen, Grant found himself moving into the driver's seat. Grant's emotional availability has a limit. Although Grant has been able to connect with some of the women on his season, it's been clear that his emotional availability has a limit. While his connections have been strong with some, watching Grant try to make emotional connections with the majority of the Bachelor Season 29 cast has been painful. Despite seeing Grant open up during the Bachelorette Season 21 and in the early moments of his own season, he's been remarkably closed off on his own season. While I think this happens fairly frequently with leads when they come from a prior season, Grant's diplomacy's been overwhelming. Even though Grant has been open with his past and his feelings surrounding the experience of being the Bachelor, his actual emotions have been hard to access. Despite knowing that in order to build a relationship, Grant has to open up about his feelings, he hasn't been doing so frequently enough on screen. The women of Grant's season have been trusting in him throughout, sharing their feelings and making their intentions clear, but Grant struggled to meet them in the middle. Instead, he's been more aloof and unavailable in person, while sharing some of his true feelings in confessional interviews. Grant's too afraid to take risks. Throughout his time as the lead, Grant has been diplomatic to a fault, which has caused him not only to stay closed off, but to try and manage the feelings of others rather than honoring his own. Instead of trying to ensure that he's getting the most out of the experience, Grant has been trying to ensure that he doesn't get hurt by not hurting others. Keeping his emotions close to the chest, Grant has been doing his best to placate the women of his season, trying to ensure they're happy whether he has interest in them or not. As a model people pleaser, Grant has been doing his best to ensure that none of the women on The Bachelor are overly hurt, despite needing to eliminate them week after week. While Grant may think he's doing something that will ultimately cause less pain by continually bringing women he's not connecting with through the season to see if something will develop, he's not trusting his instincts enough. I feel like watching Grant has been toughest in moments where he won't honor his true feelings, and is instead trying to make sure that the women on the show aren't hurt. Grant's a safe, boring Bachelor lead. Although Grant's been a kind-hearted lead who knows he wants to find love, watching him has been boring because of the safe decisions he's made as the lead. Grant's time on The Bachelor has proven that he wasn't entirely ready to commit to a long-term relationship, despite believing he was prepared for it. While this isn't Grant's fault, watching him has felt like a punishment in moments, rather than a treat. I'm hoping that in the future, the Bachelor leads aren't just the most emotionally open man on a previous Bachelorette cast, but someone who's ready for love. Sources from inside the production have leaked troubling details about Grant's behavior on set. Unlike past Bachelors who took the process seriously, Grant allegedly struggled with commitment. According to a production assistant, Grant kept pulling producers aside, saying he wasn't really sure if he saw a future with any of the contestants. Contestants also picked up on his indecisiveness. Several women reportedly confronted him, questioning whether he was truly looking for love or just using the show for fame. This led to unprecedented drama, with some women threatening to leave mid-season after feeling strung along. A major incident occurred during the third week of filming when one of the frontrunners allegedly broke down in tears, accusing Grant of emotionally manipulating her. He told me I was special, but then I found out he said the same thing to 2 other girls that same night, the contestant allegedly told producers. The producers regret, "We didn't vet him enough." Behind the scenes, Bachelor producers are reportedly in panic mode. According to an inside source, "We thought Grant was going to be this charming, devoted lead, but we didn't vet him as thoroughly as we should have." The decision to cast Grant was made in haste after the initial top pick reportedly backed out last minute. This left the network scrambling to find a replacement, and Grant, who had previously been on the shortlist, was an easy choice. But now, executives are beginning to see the consequences of that rushed decision. Reports suggest that the season has been a logistical nightmare, with producers having to step in more often than usual to keep the show on track. Even the host of the show has allegedly expressed concerns, hinting at tension behind the scenes. Viewers already losing interest. Despite the usual buzz surrounding a new Bachelor season, some longtime fans have already expressed disappointment online. Many believe that Grant lacks the charisma and emotional depth to carry the season. Comments from Bachelor Nation fans have been brutal. "Grant Ellis is giving me major player vibes. I don't trust him. Why does he look like he's just here for the Instagram followers?" Producers really fumbled this one. There were so many better choices. Even some past Bachelor contestants have subtly shaded the decision. The former Bachelorette commented on Instagram, "Not every good-looking guy is Bachelor material." Editing nightmares. Can the season be saved? With so much controversy behind the scenes, producers are now scrambling to edit the season in a way that keeps viewers engaged. Insiders claim that the show's editing team has been working overtime to cut out moments where Grant appears uninvested or indifferent. One major issue is that Grant allegedly fails to show strong chemistry with most of the contestants. Unlike past leads who had obvious frontrunners, Grant's journey seems unfocused. A source close to production revealed, by episode 5, you can tell the producers are panicking. They're trying to manufacture drama because the romance just isn't there. The franchise at risk. With ratings declining over the past few seasons, The Bachelor can't afford another misstep. Fans already criticized recent casting choices, claiming the show is prioritizing social media clout over genuine romance. If Grant's season flops, it could further damage the franchise's credibility. There are even rumors that ABC executives are considering bringing back an old-school Bachelor format, where the lead is carefully vetted for months rather than chosen in a last-minute scramble. One insider hinted, if this season doesn't perform well, they might go back to picking leads from older seasons instead of fresh faces. Will Grant propose or walk away? Perhaps the biggest question remains, will Grant actually propose at the end of the season? Sources say producers are worried that he may pull a shocking twist and leave the show single. He's hinted multiple times that he doesn't feel ready to propose, one insider revealed. If Grant walks away without choosing anyone, it could be a disaster for the show. The last time a Bachelor refused to propose, Backlash was swift, And the franchise faced intense criticism for casting someone who wasn't serious about the process. Conclusion: did producers make a huge mistake? While it's too early to say how Grant's season will end, all signs point to the Bachelor producers having made a critical misstep. From ignoring red flags in Grant's past to struggling with his lack of emotional depth, the season is already shaping up to be one of the most controversial in years. Bachelor Nation will have to wait and see if Grant can turn things around, but if early reports are any indication, producers might already be regretting their choice.